You can just see the black smoke from behind us. This is horrible. Now it is up to David Koresh. If he is indeed who he says he is, he will not let his people sit in there and burn to death.
I mean nothing to myself. I want to know what truth is, and I'm searching for it. If he happens to be the vehicle that shows me, I thank God for him.
Somebody here is reading the Bible and teaching me about it, which out there at all the places I've been to and I've been around, I have not found anybody that knew anything about the Bible.
What makes a person give up their time, their relationship, or even their sense of self to follow another human being? How can someone once independent come to live and think in ways that seem completely alien to outsiders?
Cult. Yes, I would. The definition of a cult, in layman's terms, is when people blindly follow a leader and they are forced to submit to rules that are unusual or uncharacteristic of other people in their community.
What did you learn?
I learned about people. That's what I do. I learn about people. I learn about myself.
What about these people here?
Those people
what do they
here
think
are
of you?
people. Well, you know what they think of me? They think I'm the Son of God.
Do they?
Yeah.
At the heart of many harmful cults is manipulation, a mix of psychological influence, social control, and emotional dependence that slowly reshapes a person's world. Cults do not magically attract only strange or unstable people. In fact, researchers have found that cult members often come from all walks of life, educated, intelligent, and without any prior mental illnesses.
No, and I didn't choose it. So I was a child when this happened, and it was what my sister and I referred to, and if you've heard our podcast on it, it's a familial cult. So we were, and it was religious in nature. So our entire, one side of our family went to the same church and had the same rules that even carried over into our schooling experience, because we actually, we lived in close proximity to our family, but we didn't live like on a compound like you would think, like Waco or other examples. But we did live in, everybody lives in close proximity where we're from. But the church made all of the decisions for us, including how we would behave and what we would do within the confines of a public school system.
It's not what it appears to be. You didn't want to hurt anybody. It's that I want people free.
Cults often reach out to people during moments of vulnerability, times of grief, loss, breakup, unemployment, or crisis. These emotions create a longing for stability, meaning, or belonging, and provide a perfect entry point for charismatic leaders who promise purpose and community.
Do you accept that David Koresh was a pedophile?
No. For me, accusing David Koresh for being a pedophile is like accusing God for being a pedophile.
Cults exploit basic human needs, a sense of belonging, identity, security, and purpose. When these needs aren't met in someone's life, the promise of a tight-knit community and clarity can feel irresistible. Many members don't realize they're joining a manipulative group. They think they're finding friends, support, or spiritual guidance.
He had gotten the group to the point where he didn't have to speak from the Bible anymore. He could just speak as if from God. God's lips to your ears.
What man thought impossible, Lord has made possible.
Once a person is in, cult leaders use powerful psychological tactics. The first tactic is love bombing, overwhelming newcomers with praise and attention to create emotional dependency. The second tactic is isolation from outside friends, family, and viewpoints to make the group the sole social world. The third tactic is control of information, limiting what members read, see, or hear. The last tactic is group rituals and repetition, which reinforces the cult's ideology and discourages independent thoughts.
I don't know that necessarily applies, although there is absolutely manipulation. It's more just like an expectation that if you're like part of the family, you're going to be of this religious sector, and also just kind of blindly follow whomever they decide is the leader. The interesting thing is that the structure of the church was also family. So like there would be nowhere to report the abuse that was happening, because both the family structure and the church structure were the same. So the same people were in charge of both, which is really one of the defining characteristics of once you're in something, either voluntarily or not, there's really, it's very difficult to get out.
The effects of prolonged cult involvement go far deeper than social habits, and they can even reach into the very structure of someone's identity. Former members report a range of lasting challenges, such as depression, anxiety, fear, confusion, and a detachment from their own values.
Remarkably, to this day, despite everything, Graham has never stopped believing in Koresh.
Yeah, so fortunately, and I do mean that very fortunately, there was a family rift or argument that caused my parents to break away from the rest of the family. And so I don't know what would have happened if that hadn't occurred, but we kind of left abruptly. And so I didn't necessarily get out of it in the way you would normally think people would, but the aftermath of it has been something that has really, it's something that I addressed more in my 30s than the rest of my life, because I had the capacity to finally break apart some of the things that I knew were unusual as a teenager and as my kids were younger, but I was overwhelmed, and really get to the bottom and the core of what this means, what it is, and what I should do for myself to be well. And my motivation for doing that was really my own kids. I wanted to make sure that they had the full version of me without any biases as the result of the trauma I went through.
Cult life often requires abandoning old relationships. Many ex-members feel disconnected and alone, even after leaving. Cults replace personal identity with group identity, resulting in everyday life, leading to people feeling unsure of who they are.
At 56, Graham is a gentle, tortured man whose words come hard because of the horror he witnessed. He walks 18 kilometres every day to escape his memories.
The reasons why I walk is to forget about things. Sometimes I do feel guilty that I'm still alive.
Absolutely. I think, hindsight's 20/20. So people really don't know that they're in a cult when they're in a cult. They do, hopefully, they're able to get out of it and do some reflection after that. But unfortunately, some people never do. And I think it's reasonable to be cautious anytime someone's 100% in on something without and blindly following it without asking any questions.
In the end, cult influence is not about magic. It's about human psychology and social connection. It's about exploiting what everyone seeks: meaning, belonging, and understanding. Recognizing these tactics help us protect ourselves and others, but more importantly, it reminds us that no one's vulnerability makes them weak, and everyone has the capacity to heal.